game show is 3 dimensions away from Star Wars Battlefront being remastered and being beloved. I'm your host, 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Star Wars Battlefront, the Classic Collection, released in 2024. Star Wars, the Classic Collection, Battlefront Classic Collection, is basically a ported remaster of the original Battlefront games, which I have covered in the past. But this is something that has been talked about so much that I really wanted just to throw my 2 cents in. Originally, I thought about not making this video. I was just like, I'm going to go focus on newer stuff. But then it's like, I've really been playing this the whole weekend. I've always promised, whatever I'm playing, that is what I'll review. Unless it's something I've already reviewed. And I have technically reviewed those games. That was the first things I reviewed. But I want to talk about this is a remastered port, so I weighed my cons. I talked to a few people. Should I do it? Should I didn't? And finally I said I'm going to do this because it technically is qualified as a new version of this game. So in extension, I should review this game and give my 2 cents because it's a new game. It has new characters, new content. It's like, it's basically the same foundation, but with a few things added to that foundation. So I should talk about it. So here it is. Star Wars Battlefront, the Classic Collection, is released in 2024. And the game is developed by Pandemic Studios and LucasArts, but is ported by Aspire, I believe. Aspire? I said Aspect for a thing. Aspire. They're the ones that are currently working on the Knights of the Old Republic remake, which I'm hoping is great. Because that game is going to blow minds if it comes out and it's perfect. I just hope. But this I was kind of let down with because this game should be like a 10 out of 10 perfect remaster. And obviously, when I first heard they were remastering it, it was a couple of weeks ago. Like when they announced, they're remastering Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 to put on modern gen consoles. And I was expecting like what they did with Red Dead Redemption, where they just ported it over and said, they brightened up the textures a little bit and said, all right, here's the port. Which is what they did. That is exactly what they did. The only thing is they added was, okay, we're adding some stuff that was exclusive to Xbox. We're putting that in games so you can play it both. Kind of like what Return to Arkham did, where they took all the PlayStation DLCs that you can only get if you had a PlayStation 3 at the time, and they've said, okay, for PS4 and PS4 and Xbox One, you get all that exclusive content, in the Return to Arkham deal. Only compared to Return to Arkham, I feel like I know some people shed on it when it first came out, but that was mostly before it launched. I feel like this is a much worse thing because this thing is really irks me about it is this is not really a video game ported. It feels like they literally just said, okay, we're going to add a couple servers. We're going to brighten up the textures a little bit like what they did with Red Dead Redemption. And then we're going to basically add the exclusive DLC characters. And then we're going to put it on the game. And then that's what happened. And it's like, okay, literally, me and Matt from Small Talk, we went to go play this game, okay? We were literally ready to play the game. We literally took a whole, Saturday night we were just rolling. He invited me to his game. And then all of a sudden, we could not get into a single player. If you're playing with a buddy, you cannot get into a server. We could not play a server. And the only time we could play together was we played offline in a match together, and we weren't even on the same freaking sides. The game kept not letting us in their sides. We couldn't even play offline together. We got so frustrated, we went and played Dice's Battlefront 2 instead because we were just getting aggravated. I mean, that's what kind of irks me. It's like, I should not want to go play this game because this is the game that started the foundation. Even though, yes, this is not the original Classic Collection. The original Classic Collection does not have an online mode currently. So that basically, that online mode I think was for PC and stuff like that. I don't really believe they had an online mode back in the time it was released because I think it was always an offline game. But this time, unless you had the PC version, but this time around they said, you know what, it's a modern game. Obviously online thing is, most games are pretty much online only, so they might as well said, you know what, fuck it, let's put on online mode. And I feel like they kind of misunderstood what the audience is, and they were like, look, there's probably going to be 10 players that are going to play this game, so just put 3 servers out and we'll see what happens. And then of course, everybody wanted to play this game because Star Wars fans, I think people underestimate Star Wars fans. People look at it like, oh, these are the same Star Wars fans that just buy, these are they're choosy with their money and stuff, so they're only going to buy this game and this game. Star Wars Battlefront is one of the best Star Wars games ever. I mean, if you could count on your hands what are 3 of the best Star Wars games ever made, you could say Knights of the Old Republic remake, and then of course you'll probably say it's one of the movie tie-in games probably, and then you'll say, or Lego Star Wars, and then you'll probably say, and then Star Wars Battlefront will always be on the top three. And if anyone's ranking Star Wars Battlefront will always be one of these three. And the fact is that they underestimated it shows that they are not really they're not the studio that should be handling this IP, because and that scares me about Knights of the Old Republic, because I'm worried, are they just going to take the graphics, they're just going to polish it up and then release it as if it was looks like a PS3 or PS4 game. I mean, I'm scared. I want it to be like, how how they took the Resident Evil remake from Resident Evil 2 and 3, and then they remade it and made it perfect. That's what I want with a Star Wars Battlefront game. I wanted that. Like, I'm like, you know what? If you would have just paid some money, used the Unreal Engine, you could have just remade this game into two perfectly made games. And I'm sure it would have took them 2 or 3 years. But you know what? It would have been worth it. In 2 or 3 years, you would have had two perfect remakes of a game. And then guess what? You would double and triple your sales. And on top of that, if you put online mode, you right there already have, you really won over those Battlefront fans that were fucked over with DICE's Battlefront games. That really, it feels like this is just another DICE Battlefront movie, even though DICE doesn't even have nothing to do with this movie this time around, okay? Because this game really was kind of screwed over, because it basically was Lucasfilms just probably said, I don't think Aspire was the one that was really behind this thing. I really think Aspire just kind of got stuck with it, because I would like to believe, this is my opinion, it's pure speculation, I think Lucasfilms was just like this. Even though I kind of feel bad I just bashed Aspire, but this is what I truly believe what happened. I think what it is, Aspire's working on Knights of the Old Republic remake, and they're like, look, we want to get these two games ported out. Can you just upscale it? And we have no time. We're working on Knights of the Old Republic. We just got done with Evil Dead. We want to work on this. And they're like, look, can you just do this? Take a week or two. And then it's like, look, we can't do this in a week or two. Just do what you can, okay? I'm like, all right, we'll try. And then 2 weeks later, you got it? Yeah, it's here. I'm telling you, if you would just give us a couple of years, let's do Right to Our Public, then we'll work on this and may give you a faithful remake. Well, we just want to hurry up and get our money's worth. They don't really care if the textures look good, just as long as they can see the character's face, and, it's online, that's all they care about. Well, the servers aren't really that much. Just how many servers do you want? Just put 3. We're good. We're good. All right? And it feels like that. And on top of that, there's issues in the game. There's errors. I've even seen PC is getting butchered online, because PC, there's characters floating around and stuff like that. There's so much crazy shit in this game, and it's you literally have the foundation. You copy pasted the game. They even look, this is what made me laugh when we were playing the game. Me and Mal, I told Matt, the cutscene, the animation, if you play Star Wars Battlefront 2 and you load the menu and you see clips from, it has the symbols from the Empire, the Rebel, and the Republic, and the Trade Federation. It has the symbols, and they're using footage from the freaking DVDs or the VHSs. And I'm like, you would think they would upscale because they said they use AI to upscale. You would think they upscaled the images in the freaking thing. You would think they would upscale those images. And instead they don't. They upscaled the face, models for the characters in the game, and they upscaled some of the textures so it doesn't look out of focus and blurry and stuff, which I respect. There was a couple things I like, how they upscaled the face models and I upscaled the textures in the games. So it does, even though it looks like you're on a modern PS5 console, it does at least look like you're not playing an N64 game. It isn't like what Xbox did with GoldenEye, where it's just you're basically playing the same fucking thing, only with brighter textures. That's what I felt like. My issue is with this game is that it feels like they only did it was they cleaned up, they made it brighter, and they made the facial textures more brighter so you could see them, made everything look more clear. And then they basically said, all right, add the exclusive content, also make it where heroes versus villains, which is something I really do like. That they add heroes versus villains, not just excluded to Tatooine. They made it where you can go into play heroes versus villains anywhere else, which I really respect that. And I also like that, they added exclusive content, and I also like that on multiplayer online. And I do like this game. I do like playing, that's why I wanted to play, Rise of the Empire on Battlefront 2, where I could do, Order 66 and kill all the Jedi, and I could do, this, and I could do, the Battle of Naboo and Battlefront 1, and just stuff like that is what made me excited to play this game. And I really was excited, and I did instant action. Me and my buddy tried to do it together, but we couldn't because it kept kicking us from the game, because the online multiplayer shit does not work. And that's how it irks me. It's you're giving somebody, at least wait. They should have waited, because from the announcement to launch, was not in a small time frame, and I think that right there is something you don't just give somebody a game. And to be fair, I have bought games sight unseen sometimes, and I've never, there's like a couple, like 3 times I think in my life, like not Sea of Thieves, but Skull and Bones, and another game I forget, and then this game. These are the only 3 times I've ever played a game, and I felt like, man, I feel like I got ripped off. And you know what? I'm hoping, because I'm just a diehard Star Wars fan, and I'm really seriously hoping that, because they said there's a bullshit lots of like, you know, patch notes saying, oh, we're gonna fix this and that, we're gonna fix this and that. I'm gonna wait a couple weeks when the patch comes out, and I'm gonna bear through this just to see if they fix this shit, or if this is just another BS, you know, hopeful dreams excuse. You know, I mean, I'm hoping I'm not wrong. Hoping they'll fix it. I mean, look at DICE. DICE come out with a bunch of issues with Battlefront 2. They fixed it. I mean, Cyberpunk, CD Projekt came out with a bunch of issues. They fixed it. Now everybody loves Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, you know, there's just lots of shit. I mean, when Jedi Survivor came out, it had some issues on PC and some minor console issues, and they fixed it, and everybody loves that game. So, I mean, there is essentially, you know, there's these issues that games, I understand, but it's like this felt like this was rushed out so they could make a quarter earning, and I do agree. And also, they ripped off mods from other players. Like another player, they stole mods and put them in the trailers, and then they tried to fix it and like cover that up, like they were stealing mods to make I feels like they were cutting corners in the game, and they were just like, look, there's a mod for this. Instead of we can just build this whole up, we could just steal this mod from this like YouTuber or this gamer on Steam and then just use that. And they did. And it's like, this person even says, look, they stole my thing, they stole this, and this. And I mean, it just seems like they're just cutting corners to where they're stealing from YouTubers now. I mean, that's just so crazy. And I mean, I don't understand that. You know, it's just like if you would just do your job, you know, right, the first time, then you wouldn't have to do it the second time. But yeah, that's what I think about this game. If I had to give this game a score out of 10, I would give it about a 5 out of 10. And that's me being generous. Thank you so much.
Legion in the Rise of the Empire campaign.
Lord Vader has arrived.
Experience the action. Feel the Force. The Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection.